Hello, welcome to my channel. My name's Michelle and I call myself the Beauty Treasure Hunter. And in today's episode, I have several beauty treasures ranging from $2.98 and up. But the neat thing is today I'm going to take two recently released foundations and mix them together to get what suits me a little bit better, I think, and you as far as formula goes, not necessarily color, but formula. So if you want to see how I got this look and you want to see how well it wore throughout the day, I'm going to make a comment in the description. So let's get started. Okay, let's get started. Today I used the Haru Wonder sunscreen. A lot of folks really like this. This is like my second choice. And it says it has a non-greasy velvet finish, but really it does leave me a little bit tacky feeling. And my usual Japanese BPure is like a serum or a gel, and it just disappears right into your skin. So that's what I compare everything to. But I've already done this morning. I can't remember which influencer it was who took they took the Milani primer, the one that's kind of like jelly. Show you like this. It's like almost like a jelly paste, and used it to prime her eyelids. But I have this Touch and Soul. Um, it is called the Icy Sherbet Primer, and it looks exactly like that, except it's pink. I'm going to try that on my eyelids today. Of course, it's clear, so it's not going to give any coverage for my discoloration. We'll see how smooth it makes my crepey eyelids. And I did my eye patches this morning, and it really did help. I've got some allergies going on, and my nose has been running like a water faucet, and I get some puffiness under my eyes too, and that gets bad. So I think the eye patches helped, and those I got, I think I've already put them back up. I got them at the Dollar Tree, and they do have some kind of California prop, whatever warning on them, but that I think is for the material that's actually in the little jelly patches. That part doesn't get into your skin. That's not in the serum. That's just in the jelly part that you discard when you're done. So I wasn't scared to use them. And I think Dr. Dre has also pointed out that they are good and didn't say anything about that. And she's a dermatologist, so she should know. And I think I'll also try the Milani primer just where my pores are visible. You can see my rosacea is kind of peeking, rearing up this morning. And I have a little bit of chafing going on, just winter weather. It is so cold, and we've been through an ice storm, and I still can't get out of my driveway. Okay, now I'm gonna do a little bit to my lips already. I'm gonna use this Revlon Color Stay multi-liner in Less Traced, and I really like it because it has a little brush on the end. This is kind of a darker color, but it does blend out really well. Okay, that feels pretty good. Today for eyeshadow, I'm going to use this $2.98 LA Colors Jewel. And here's why. When I started using this the other day, I was like, oh my gosh, these colors. If you don't consider the greens or that gold, then you have nearly the old Naked 3. And yes, this is my original. And it has the same kinds of rosy colors that are in the Jewel. You can kind of see they are very similar. So that's what it reminded me of. But this is $2.98. at Walmart. So I'm going to start with the lightest shade. And the only negative is that the pans are kind of small. This one is a shimmer. I'm going to start with the lightest rosy color as my base. Because if your brush is a little too fluffy, you might hit two pans. Now I'm going to go into this shade right here. And if you know your shade names off of that Naked 3, this is the one that's kind of like Nooner. Nooner is the reason I bought the Naked 3 to begin with. And Nooner is talking about having a little fun in the middle of the day. And again, I never worry about my edges till the end. I'll clean them up at the end. Okay, now I'm going to take a newer brush that I have, and it's kind of a flat one. It looks like a Real Techniques, but it's not. It's a generic. And I'm going to use, I have a darker one that's also a shimmer. And I'm going to use that on the lower lash line. I like to kind of wing it out just a little bit on the sides. And I'm going to use just a skinny pencil brush. This one's kind of fluffied up a little bit, but it is supposed to be a pencil. And I'm going to use this darkest wine shade right here to do my upper lash line, or just the bottom part of the lid. Putting something a little bit darker right above my upper lash line helps to kind of hide my uneven hoodedness. This eye is a lot more hooded than the other one, but if I put a darker color right above my upper lashes, it's harder to see that. It's kind of like camouflage. Now I think I'm gonna stick with this palette and go with the sparkle, the gold, and do it right in the middle. And it's not incredibly sparkly, but it adds a little bit of shimmer. I'm going to take a clean, fluffy brush and just kind of blend out near the top. Didn't pull my hair back today because I already had it fixed. I picked up some mascara at the Dollar Tree, and it's the BPure Clean Beauty mascara because it was brown. But it's pretty weak. It does color my lashes, but they stay both the length and the thickness of my own. So I'll probably be decluttering this one. I'm gonna go over it with the Extensionist mascara. I love a good silicone wand. Okay, now I'm going to take a wipe right on the edge of it. I'm going to fold and sharpen up the edges. And I'm going to try out some Benefit Boing Bright On Concealer. Isn't that funny? Looks like a pencil. And this color is kind of like a color correcting shade. It's more pinkish. And the color is Lychee. I think I'm saying that right. I'm going to use my Japanese smaller kitten paw. I'm going to use my Lottie London Arch Rival Skinny Brow Pen. This one's in dark brown. It's very teeny tiny. The hardest part about doing my brows is the very front part where they're really sparse. Got a spoolie on the end. But I think that looks really natural. And I found this by Wet n Wild after I'd already done my episode on Wet n Wild. This is the Mega Stay Brow Glue, and it's clear. It's a little bit stickier than the one I used in that episode. I just used the clear brow mascara. And this is a little bit better, I think. For foundation today, I'm excited. You know how I've always said that the new Superstay, the Lumi-Matte, just didn't agree with me because I felt like it was too dry. So I'm going to mix some of the new Lifter Plump and Glow. Let's see. In the Plump and Glow, I'm using shade 118. And in the Lumi-Matte, I'm using 129, which is a little bit darker. And I'm also going to add just a tad of this ABH liquid blush. And it's to me, it looks really lavender. It says baby pink is the color. So you don't have to stick with primer or color corrector. You can add something else like a liquid blush. So I'm going to go 1 pump of the Lumi-Matte. I'm going to go 1.5 of my Lifter Plump and Glow, plus a little bit of the lavender. So this is the color I get. And I'm going to use the new e.l.f. foundation brush, Smooth Swipe Foundation, large kitten paw, comparable to one by BK Beauty that everybody loves. And if I get too much of this, I can always go back and bounce a sponge around on it. Do a few extra bounces on top of my rosacea. And when I look in the 10X mirror, I always think, oh my goodness, I need to rub that in, which is why most of the time, if I don't have to mix anything, I just use my fingers. Because my skin likes to have that warmth to start melting everything in. While I'm thinking of it, I'm going to go in with my new NYX Wonder Snatch powder, and this one is the cherry pink color. I'm going to go around my mouth. Also going to take a look at the concealer and see if I see any creasing. Just barely. And I'm going to try the Wonder Snatch today instead of my H2O Lock. That is a big step for me. So I'm going to go back in with my Revlon liner. And hopefully having the powder will help. And let's see, this is what that color less traced looks like. Now I'm going to use a couple of Anastasia Beverly Hills lipsticks. The first one is called Soft Brown. Got these at my Marshall's. Kind of focusing more around the perimeter. And I'm going to go in with Honey Taupe. Looks like this on the inside. Adds a little bit of dimension, I think. My lips need all the help they can get. I'm not going to put any filler in. Wish I could get away with it because I think it's pretty, but I don't think I can. I'm going to add just a smidge of it. It looks like the Lumi Glotion, but this came in a 2-pack with a lighter one and this darker one, and it is by Pure Benefits. And I took a chance on getting it at my Ross. Both of them together was like $4.99. This color is called Beach Glow. To me, it's like $4.02, or I'm sorry, $9.04 of the Lumi Glotion. Let's see, I'll compare the two. Okay, on the bottom, I have the Lumi Glotion, and on the top, I have this new stuff. And I think they're just about the same. Then I was also afraid, well, gosh, it might have a really bad smell. Sometimes the really cheap stuff does. Yeah, it smells so good. I'm gonna kind of use that just as a little bit of bronzer. Bring it down the sides, a little bit across the top. And then with what I have left over, I like to just use it on the top of my hands. So this was a win if you see this out by Pure Benefits. Okay, now I'm going to use this. It's called Face Hack by Freck, and it is a sculpting stick. It is more of like a bronzer color for me. It's kind of light and a little bit on the warm side, but it's tiny. It'd be great for travel. I think I got mine at Marshall's. Okay, now I'm going to go over that. This was the one color of the Color Icon bronzer that I did not have. This is Ticket to Brazil. I feel like all the other ones, some more than others, have a lot of sheen. And this one is the one, I think, that doesn't and actually works. I kept hearing people say that it didn't have sheen. I was like, yes, they do. But it depends on the shade that you get. So this one is Ticket to Brazil. Gosh, when my nose is running and I hit it with my brush, I end up getting snot all over my face. That's ugh. And I went to an ENT, an ear, nose, and throat doctor, and he just couldn't figure out why. He just said, blow your nose. So now I'm gonna go see an allergist in a few months. I'm going to try the new Profusion Blush Crush Bouncy Blush. This one's in Mauve Crush. That's what it looks like. And it's kind of feels like just a mound of cream. It's lovely. I'm going to use my Dense Kitten Paw by Moda. This is buildable, so it's not scary. I think when they're way too pigmented, or I don't want to say too pigmented, but when they're heavily pigmented, it just, you can overdo it. And this one, I like, it's buildable. And just as I say, you can't overdo it. I do, just a little bit. Usually I don't worry about it because I powder at the end, and that takes down everything a notch or two. And I got this little Colorgram blusher. It is a cream and a powder. I really, really like it. It's about the same color as what I just used. So I'm not going to use the cream side. I'm going to use just the powder side. With my tiny angled Profusion angled powder brush, PD3, I'm just going to rock it and just set this down. I like the bouncy blushes because they're so blurring. So if you have texture or large pores in this area, you will really like the bouncy or pudding kinds of blushes. I'm going to go back to my Wonder Snatch powder and a smaller fluffy brush. This one's by Flower Beauty, and I know they're going out of business, but if you see this like at Marshall's or TJ Maxx, they're so good. Now I need a little bit of sparkle on my lips, and so this is the Super Lustrous Glimmer Gloss by Revlon. And this one is in shade 4, Happy Hour, and it's kind of a inky sparkle, since that's been my theme today, kind of a rosy deal. And the sparkles, I do like to get them a little bit on that upper cupid's bow, or the upper part of it. And for my setting spray today, I'm going to use the Carsland Black Magnet Soft Focus Liquid. got this at Amazon, and I think it's supposed to be very similar to the Vanessa Myrick's blurring spray. I think the only thing I forgot to mention were that my upper lashes are the God Venus Wispy Cluster lashes. I like these because they are narrower and you don't have to bend them to get the arch in your eye, in your eyelid. And my favorite brow glue, and I've tried several, I like the Super Stick by Kiss up to 5-day wear glue. So this is my final look for the day, kind of rosy. I liked all of the products. The maybe one that I didn't like as much was the Freck stick, bronzer stick or contour stick. I used it as a contour even though it was a very light bronzer. And everything else. Especially love that LA Colors Jewels eyeshadow. It's a lot like the Naked 3. The other day I did side by side and was able to just match them up perfectly. So thank you for watching today. I hope that wherever you are in the world that you are doing well and that spending this time with me took your cares away for just a little while. And I hope you see me next time. And please like and subscribe.